Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Today, we're talking about David Ballou. David Ballou is a new name that we are tracking to replace Scott Cochran, who took the special teams job with Georgia. Now, Alabama, as you know, currently looking for a new strength and conditioning coach, a vital part of the program. Cochran had been with Saban for nearly 12 seasons. Now, recently, we talked about why it could make sense that Alabama went after Aaron Feld, who's a current strength and conditioning coach at Oregon. Well, looks like things have slowed, or looks like things never even got going with Aaron Feld. So a new candidate that people feel confident about within this area is David Ballou. Now, Ballou's in his third season as Indiana's football director of athletics performance. He's a former Indiana fullback from 1997 to 1999. So you're probably wondering, like, how does this all make sense? Just hang tight. I'm going to tell you. He spent 2017 as the University of Notre Dame's co-director of football strength and conditioning. And prior to Notre Dame, Ballou worked as the head football strength and conditioning coach at IMG. Yeah, do I have your attention now? So you have David Ballou as IMG Academy's strength coach from 2015 to 2016. IMG didn't lose a game during those two seasons, 9-0 and 12-0. So I think when Nick Saban is looking at candidates, he's not only looking for who's established, and that's why I think when you look at Aaron Feld from Oregon, I think not that he's not established. I think he's just, is he a better overall hire than Scott Cochran? When you try to replace a guy like Scott Cochran, you got to make sure that you're upgrading. You can't be taking a step back. Now, does Aaron Feld know more than Scott Cochran? I'd be hard pressed to say yes, right? So when you look at a guy like David Ballou, this guy has a ton of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and you don't want to make a step back. You don't even want to make a lateral step. You want to make an upgrade when you replace any coaches, and that's something that Nick Saban has been able to do. Now, this is the first time that we've seen Nick Saban have to replace a strength coach, but David Ballou looks like a great candidate and somebody with a wealth of knowledge that could be able to step in and continue to lead the University of Alabama's fourth quarter program as they finish up and enter into the springtime, right? So, as I mentioned, he was at IMG during 2015, 2016. He's worked with great high school athletes. And obviously, he's working with Indiana football just recently. Indiana coming off one of their better seasons, quite some time. And from 2002 to 2014, David Ballou was the strength coach at Avon High School, where he assisted in the development of over 80 NCAA Division I athletes. So, new name that we're watching, David Ballou. A lot of people like this name. And like I just said, you know, when you're replacing someone, you can't take a step backwards. You can't take a lateral step. It needs to be an upgrade. So Saban continues to dig into the fine details of who's going to be next to replace Scott Cochran. I think it's going to be tough to replace a guy like Scott Cochran because this guy is someone who really built up a brand name for himself, but I don't think it's impossible. I think another guy that whoever is the replacement for Cochran has to really be able to gel with the players. One thing that I heard from sources is that Cochran always had an open door policy with his players, and that anytime a player from Alabama football really wanted to, get their mind right, talk to Cochran, the door was always open. And being personable with these players is very important for the entire process. So not only do you have to get your mind right in the weight room, you also have to be able to connect with these players. And I think that is something that Nick Saban knows. Obviously, he knows that. He's been with Cochran for, 12 seasons. So David Ballou is a new name that we are tracking. And if we get any more names, we'll continue to bring them either to BamaInsider.com or right here to our YouTube channel. But stick around and let us know what you think about David Ballou in the comment box. I'd be curious to get your take on Alabama potentially checking out David Ballou, who's in his third season as Indiana football director of athletic performance. We appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. We'll catch you soon on BamaInsider.com.